Not a ton of updates, so yeah, we'll do an MBR. It's been a while since I've done one of those. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing my weekly update talking about what I was reading in the last week, as well as, decided to do an MBR. You can see a stack of books hiding right here. That's how high it goes, because I don't know. I haven't been doing TBRs for a while and haven't even done an MBR in a while because I've just been mostly kind of picking. But I actually have a lot of things that I very specifically would like to start soon, as well as at least one thing in here that I will for sure be reading. So I thought, this is probably good. Why not do this? So we will. Starting about what I've been reading first, though. I'm still working on The Last of the Atlanteans and The Towers of the Sunset, the things I said I was going to be reading this week. I was hoping to have both finished. Clearly it hasn't happened, although I've been close. I've got, I think, about 150 pages left of The Last of the Atlanteans by P.L. Stewart. And this has been really good. It definitely was a bit slow to start, and I do feel like it's a bit too wordy at times. But around the halfway mark especially, like, I was super invested in what was happening. And I'm really curious because there's a lot has happened at this point. And I still have a bit of book left, so I'm really curious to see what's going to be happening from here. But I have really enjoyed seeing the character of Othran really grow and change here, because the character, the way they started in the first one versus how they are now, you can see the changing. And I know that's something that P.L. Stewart, the author, was really focusing on. So there's a lot going on in here, so it took me a bit. I feel like I was reading a little slower, but it's been really good up to the points that I'm getting to as well. And speaking of that, and something really similar, The Towers of the Sunset, Book 2 and Recluse, is another one where I'm like, I wasn't sure how I was feeling about this. And that's how I was with the first Recluse too. So I think that the theme with both of these books this week is trust the process, because I feel like these are both ones I had to be a bit patient on, and just assume the author knows what they're doing, and it's turned out that does seem to be the case, because The Towers of the Sunset it's very much a prequel, and this is before Recluse is established whatsoever. It's following some different types of characters in different ways, but the story starts a little bit similar, with the main character here also being a very powerful order wizard, but not realizing it and not knowing some things about the way they were raised. And so I'm like, this feels a little too close, but it really is building into something very different. And I see now why a lot of the things that I felt like were a little bit annoying early on were as well. So both of these I may do a full review for. I haven't decided yet, so I won't talk too crazy much, but I haven't finished yet either. I'm close. I've been mostly doing audio with this one, and I'm pretty close with this as well. So yeah, so that's kind of where we are at for those books coming in here. So like I said, not a crazy big update, so I figured we'll do some MBR stuff. Now, speaking of Recluse, I may at some point throw on the third book, The Magic Engineer. I don't actually have a physical copy of that one, so that would be 100% audio, but I've been enjoying listening to those, so we will see. And let's jump into the stuff that I may actually pick up and read. This is in no particular order. They're actually arranged by size, and that's the particular order technically. But in no way is it the order that I would actually read them. But we have Green Rider by Kristen Britton. I meant to try this series for quite a while, and doing the Crown of Stars buddy read, which I didn't even think about. I should have gotten that book out, but I didn't. Doing the Crown of Stars buddy read, some people had compared it to Crown of Stars to Green Rider in the first book, and that got me really interested in this one. So, and I think I'm able to get both digital copies of this from my library as well. So it'll be something that I may triple format and go through, because I've been enjoying doing that to get things done quicker. Speaking of Crown of Stars, because I actually forgot to get this out, book 3, The Burning Stone, will definitely be in March. So that is not a maybe, that's a definitely. And that was my least favorite book of the series, yet there are a lot of cool things that happen in it, and so I'm thinking about those, and I think I might have a better time, because I know what's coming this time, and everybody else has seemed to enjoy it, so I think it was just more of a me thing. There's some specific stuff in there that's not to my taste, but it's a great series, and book 4 is probably my favorite. I love it, so I'm so excited and really enjoying this as well. Then we have The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding, and this is definitely falls into the category of longer physical book that I've meant to get to for forever and haven't. This actually, in a video I did with Andrew, I was supposed to read it really soon, and that was quite a while ago, and I never did. So Still definitely need to get to this. It is a long book. This version is almost 800 pages, and I think that's why. It's just starting a really long book. I know it's going to take a chunk of time, so that I just, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of where we are there. Then we have, what would be next up for review copies, also a little bit longer, The Failed Technomancer by Boo Ludlow. It's a robot cannibal apocalypse, which sounds really ridiculous in a fun way, and so this will be interesting to see how I feel about this. This is another one, it's a bit longer, but Last of the Atlanteans was a physical one I've been looking to get to specifically, and so this is kind of up next here, so we'll see if I do. I've still been, with review copies, kind of getting into them when I get to them. It's been slow going, but I still will be getting to all of them, so that's one up next there. Then we have The Lions of Alrasan by Guy Gavriel Kay, which this one, I've been meaning to read Guy Gavriel Kay for so long. I really have been, and I have most of his books and I've read none of them, so this has been high on the list. But I was talking to Joanna specifically, and she was telling me how much she loves this book and that this would be a good one to start with. I think she said this is the one that she started with, and so I'm just like, I really, really want to read it. So this one I feel like has a really good chance because I'm really, really excited to get to it, but we will see. I have a ton of his stuff to read, and I'm really, really excited to jump in. Then we have, which was the only thing I purchased in my last book, called The Hand That Casts the Bone by H.L. Tinsley. This is the sequel to We Men of Ash and Shadow, and I love that book, and I've been wanting to read this for quite some time. All of these are at least, none of them are super short. This is, I think, the shorter of what I've had, but I've been really looking forward to reading this for quite some time, so that's another one that I feel like has high potential priority of being next up for physical, and a lot of these are physical reads too, so that's where stuff that I have ebook or audiobooks available either as well or only are going to be things too, because so much of this is physical only, which is why I know I won't get to all of it by any means, and I'm not saying I will, but it's there. Speaking of other books I've meant to get to for a really long time that I really just kind of want to start, and not quite as long as I thought. This is under 600, so it's not one of the longest ones here, but The Darkness That Comes Before by R. Scott Baker. I meant to get to this for a really long time. This, and which isn't even in this group, this and Second Thomas Covenant Chronicles are two things that I just seem to never get to, even though I really want to. So yeah, I really want to try it. I have several books. I have the whole first part of the series, I think the trilogy at least, and some others after that. So I really need to get to it and just try it, see if it's going to be for me. And I'm really interested to try this author because I still have it and they've been highly recommended. Then we have Desperate Dispatches by Mike Rollman. I've been really excited and was waiting until I got this physical copy here. This is one that I know will read pretty quickly. I do have the ebook too if I need to do both formats, but I just really wanted to read this hardcover, so also excited there. Then one thing I know I will be reading is Black Powder War by Naomi Novik, which is the third Tamara book. Reading that with Murphy Napier and Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and so I don't know when I'll get to it specifically, but I'll definitely be getting to it in the month, and I'm excited to continue. I had a good time with Tamara so far. Then we have Unbound by Michael R. Miller, which is book 2 in the Songs of Chaos, and I read book 1 not that long ago, and so this is another one where I have 2 more books of this. I have the next P.L. Stewart book, so review copies that I have multiple books in the series that I need to continue, and so that one is there as well. And the first one was really, really easy reading, so especially there's a lot of heavy stuff here. I have a feeling I might want something a little bit lighter. And then, speaking of books that I honestly kind of forgot that I hadn't read yet, Blade of Dream by Daniel Abraham. This is book 2 in Kithamar. I really enjoyed Age of Ash. I planned on reading this immediately when it came out, but I didn't have time at the time, and then I've just kind of forgotten. So this is another one, too, where I'd really like to get to. So these are all things. I'm definitely not going to get to all of these, but it's some things to give you kind of an idea of things that I may get to as well. And so, there's a couple that are for sure here, but I'm trying to fit a lot in here and just get a lot of different stuff read and continue focusing on stuff I've had for a while and have not to. So some books I may be choosing from. And at least some of what I read should be out of this list. So there we go. Part of this is just reminding myself I have all these books to read too, in the hopes that it gets me to get to them quicker as well. So there we go. So a shorter update, but there's kind of an MBR, some things that are coming up. Let me know your thoughts on any of these, if there's any you think I should bump up specifically or not. I also will be getting a certain book, hopefully the day this comes out, but very early in the week I'll be getting a book that I'll be dropping everything for. So we'll talk more about that when that comes up as well. But that's it for this one. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description, as always, for the Wizardly Enclave Discord. If you want to chat books, whether any of these books, other books, really anything at all, it's a lot of fun. We'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.